Welcome back to Overtime. Mark, let's switch gears from Alabama to Auburn. The Tigers had a really interesting game. After that whole Penn State game, they came back, and one of the big things that you always worry about with teams is having that letdown spot. Looks like Auburn had down to Georgia State for most of that football game. They were able to turn around and win it at the very end, won it by 10. 34-24. What were some of your takeaways of Auburn, and as you assess them after that huge Penn State game?
I don't know if anybody could have predicted that they would play this poorly in that game for the stretches they did.
Right.
Which is, to me, the main thing they did was they weren't able to convert when they got into the red zone into touchdowns. 4 trips there, 4 field goals. That you can't have that against a team of that caliber that you're supposed to blow out. I mean, let's get something straight. If you're a top 25 team, you blow out at Georgia State. You don't barely beat them in the final seconds.
Right.
However, they still won.
Exactly.
They didn't lose. They were able to make plays when they have to, as we talked about at Jordan Harris. Those things tend to happen, whether they're supposed to or not.
Right.
But they kind of stuck it to where they were able to make it look a little better when Smoke Monday had that pick 6 at the end of the game. Kind of like a special, we survived this, and this rewards us for surviving that. Harsin, I thought, made a tough choice in putting Finley in there.
Right.
Bo Nix, I mean, he didn't play really bad. It's just that they weren't able to get the ball into the end zone, and those are the kind of calls you need to make as a coach.
Right.
That was a tough call to make.
It is, yeah.
Because
it's a 3-year starter.
You don't know what kind of confidence level that you're going to affect there with Bo Nix. Hopefully he can get over it. But, you got to be a big boy here. Okay?
Right.
You couldn't get the job done for that game. Who knows why? TJ Finley did give him credit, and let's move on.
Exactly. TJ Finley, and coming into this game, it felt like there was a juice added to this football team. And marched that team down the field, 98 yards. You mentioned the Smoke Monday pick 6. There you see it on your screen right there. Those things contributed late in the game for Auburn's big win. But let's break down Bo Nix and TJ Finley here. One of the things that you popped up with your numbers is the fact that Bo Nix didn't have a terrible game in the sense that he was able to, at one point, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Right.
But he had a total QBR of 22. Meanwhile, TJ Finley's QBR touched 80. It was 79.9 or something like that. And obviously didn't have as many throws. What were some of the things that stuck out to you with TJ Finley, maybe inside and outside of the numbers? And who would you start going into Saturday?
Well, I mean, TJ Finley, let's not forget who he is. I mean, he was at LSU, and he was among the final finishers for that job. So that's pretty good. I mean, to be fighting for a job that Joe Burrow had the year before, okay, this guy's an accomplished guy. Let's not just make him out to be an average Joe.
Right.
So he was waiting for that opportunity, and Harsin knew he had a quality quarterback to go to in that spot. Not taking anything away from Bo Nix. This is where the maturity of Bo Nix has to show a little bit.
Right.
Because do you want to fight for this job? If you do go back and get it and take it from him, don't let him take it from you. And Finley made the drives when he had to. Bo Nix couldn't get them into the end zone. To me, I want to know why. If you're Bo Nix and you're the starting quarterback for an SEC West team, you score touchdowns against Georgia State. You don't settle for field goals. He didn't do that. TJ Finley did.
He did, and marched him down the field, got the touchdown, and got the victory, as Mark pointed out just a second ago. Meanwhile, Brian Harsin, head coach of the Auburn Tigers, held his weekly press conference today. As you might imagine, after he was done with his opening statement, the first question asked was about the quarterback situation. He praised TJ Finley, as well as talked about kind of where he sees Bo Nix and what he wants to see this week in practice.
I thought he was ready, and he came in the game. He was poised. Plenty of things for TJ to work on as well, and I think he'll be the first to admit that. We got to get better in these areas, and that's the beauty of going back to work and getting yourself better prepared and playing better. So you got to perform in practice at the quarterback position to do that. So he had himself ready to go. Well, that'll be no different. You always need to prepare like you're the starter. Bo in the game, I made the change. I said that. I made that change, and he wants to be out there. That's the thing I love about Bo. Bo's a hard worker. He's a competitor, and he's that way all the time. It never changes. He's always been driven like that, and I fully expect that he's going to get himself ready and have a great week of practice, and then take what we learned in the last game, apply it to this game, and so both those guys, they need to be ready to go. Both those guys get the majority of the reps anyhow throughout the week. They all get different scenarios. We have those guys mixing and matching with the starters throughout practice already. And, we'll go into Tuesday and we'll see how they operate, and we'll see how we're operating as an offense. And really, that position is extremely important, but everybody on the offensive side knows that we need to find ways to put the ball in the end zone. I mean, we're there to score. That's the goal of the offense, is to score touchdowns.
So we'll find out Auburn's decision on Bo Nix and TJ FInley coming up a little bit later this week. Meanwhile, let's take a big step and let's take a look at college football as far as a broader picture. We got a lot of answers on Saturday. Some of the things that we saw today in the poll, we'll get to that in a second, happened because of all the developments on Saturday. I think Arkansas shocked a lot of people, beating Texas A&M the way they did. You also have Clemson upset by North Carolina State. You have Florida State now off to an 0-4 start. Michigan off to a 4-0 start. Georgia continues to dominate. Actually, they're number one in the SP Plus rankings, which is little power rankings. That determines a whole lot. What stuck out to you on Saturday after kind of taking in all of college football and some of the things that we got to see on Saturday?
And me and Rico were talking about it on Saturday, and he was really impressed, I think, by Arkansas and the fact that they have 8 super seniors, which are guys that came back because of COVID.
Right.
So that kind of experience, when they've been getting their butt kicked all these years, I think really played into their hands, and it's played into their hands all year.
Right.
And that's what you saw a lot of against Texas, and that's what you saw a lot of against Texas A&M. They couldn't wait to get out there and play that game, and they played very physical. They were able to run for over 200 yards like they've done, in each of their other games. But if they don't have KJ Jefferson,
right,
that's a big difference between him and Hornsby. Hornsby was only 1 for 3. Didn't really look like he had control of the offense. They need KJ Jefferson to be healthy if they want to continue to play this well. But now the honeymoon is over. So now they're going to have a target on their back. It starts right here at Georgia. They've lost 8 of 9, but they did win their last time at Georgia in 2010 when it was Aaron Murray against the quarterback for them that got drafted, Ryan Millett.
Yes.
So they were able to beat them then. A little different teams now, but